Welcome everyone to the Young Professional African Collective, also known as YPAC, and I'm your host, Bakary Obwaku. Here at YPAC, I talk to people doing work on the African continent or work pertaining to the African continent. And today I have a great guest with me. I think the guest is amazing. We're going to talk about so many great things, especially when it comes to mental health, especially how that looks in different spaces and places in the African community. So without further ado, please welcome my guest, Mrs. Fanta Doumbia.
Thank you so much for inviting me on. I am really excited to have great conversation, and I'm really excited.
Yeah.
I'm excited to be here.
Me too. Thank you for being here. Let's start with an icebreaker, actually. Let's loosen up and let the people get to know you a little bit. Can you think of a song that brings some nostalgia to you?
Oh, man, I've been thinking about this, because every time I watch your episode, I hear so many good options. I like all of them. Mm-hmm. And I was like, what can I say that's not repetitive? And I was just like, it's genuine. It's just like so many of us share the same nostalgic throwbacks. Mm-hmm. But I would have to say one of them is sincerely Premier Gao.
Ooh.
Premier Gao.
Oh my goodness.
Every time.
From the first, 3 beats.
Yeah. And then, they've been doing the remixes, under different things. And it's something about it, even every time I hear it, trending on TikTok, mixed with other things, it get me excited. I feel seen, I feel belong, I feel wow. So I've been, seeing it mixed with different Afro beats, different hip hop things, and that's one. And then as you get older and you actually know the meaning, and now my younger sister loves to say every time she's heated, she loves to be listen, baby, go in the pocket, basically I was I'm not the first, it's basically the first, when you make mistakes or when you fall for something, but it's the second time when you do it again. So I would say that.
Premier, and it was first, Gao, what does that mean?
Premier Gao, Nepa Gao, c'est deuxième Gao qui est Natao. Yes, I love this. My French speaking people don't come for me. But in just what I understand, sometimes we make mistakes or sometimes we fall for, bad relationships or friendship, or sometimes someone play you.
Okay.
So when you get played once, it's a saying though. When you get played once.
Yeah. Fool me once, shame on you. Fool me twice, shame on me.
Basically, that's what it means. Basically, I would say that's what it means. So
you know what? That's hilarious. I've heard that song my whole life. Every party, every something that comes on. I've never actually looked into what the meaning is because I'm Premier Gao. I'm okay, I know what's it called? Premier means first, but okay,
I think Gao
would
mean someone who don't really know stuff.
Okay.
I don't really know what Natao means. I think it's an insult. But that's what it is about, African music. I feel we be singing about stuff, but it be lessons. Because the second song that I thought about that I love, DJ Arafat, the one that passed, he was a big DJ, big artist in Cote d'Ivoire.
Okay.
So he passed, I don't know how long ago, it's been a minute. And his song that I loved growing up was Jonathan. So it was about his friend that passed away. But I'm telling you, people were playing that in the clubs, dancing to it, and the song but it was about his friend that, I guess his friend was also a DJ and stuff like that, but it was about his friend but it's so sentimental. So as I got older and I'm actually listening to it, he's talking about all the goodness of his friend.
Yeah. We're just in there dancing to whatever. That's so funny. Yeah. But that's an important part. I feel with a lot of the music, sometimes, there's discussions on people saying Afro beats, certain Afro beats, it's just kind of you're saying whatever. Yeah. But there's a lot of songs that have a lot of meaning to people and actually, to the artists, and they're sharing that. So
even our day and age, I know the last episode that I watched, I really enjoyed you and Khadijah, my panelist sisters. Yeah.
Shout out Khadijah.
That was an amazing episode. I enjoyed. So you guys were talking about Burna Boy Last, and then for so long I did not know it was a breakup song.
Yeah.
I just thought it was a song when you about to get hyped, like Last. And I'm like, and then later on when I was like when I'm driving, I'm like, oh, this is a whole breakup song. He's talking about his feelings.
Yeah.
And so I think like Afrobeats have that effect, like I think even our insults, like I think growing up, like my sisters, I've been talking about that when they like cuss out somebody, they be like, you have no shame, you do not care about your mother, but like that's their insult, but it has like some type of like meaning,
deeper meaning to it. Yeah. There was one sister sharing insult, or even like I guess prepping for like a spanking. We didn't get spanking too much, but I didn't grow up with a lot of gentle parenting in the sense of my parents weren't going to hit us. I mean, we were good kids, so we didn't get hit really at all. But I remember there was one time where I don't even know what the context was, but my dad's like, Aberichi. When he says my full name, that's when I know. Because like sometimes he'll say my full name and it's whatever, but Aberichi. 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 How many times did I call your name? Like, that's how many times I'll whip you with a bell or something. And it's like, wait a minute. All this creativity. Stop. It's like, it's funny later, but at the time it's like, it's not. It's like, that's
it's
3.
It's deep. It's unique.
Yeah.
It's definitely.
Yes. Yeah. Well, I love that. That's a great song choices and whatnot. So let's jump in a bit about who you are. Let's talk about your profession, your even educational background, and even how you grew up and how you came into your profession.
Yeah, okay. So my name is Fanta Doumbia. I am Ivorian American. So you guys already know the best soccer team, Côte d'Ivoire.
Côte d'Ivoire.
I'm going to spare your feelings. We're not going to get it all into Africa. But,
like Nigeria,
we had it at home. We kept it home. And, it was a good match. Nigeria and Côte d'Ivoire. Oh my God, the tweets were hilarious. When they were like, basically, these are the big like beasts. Like it was like Nigeria is the Anglophone with the big ego, and Côte d'Ivoire is the Francophone with the big ego. So everybody was just intense. Like, what is this gonna be like and stuff? But it was a great intense match. But I was actually born in New York. My sister and I was born in the Bronx, and then our parents later moved here to Michigan. So we were raised in Detroit, Big 313, 7 Mile West Side.
Your city, your state,
So I am actually a clinical social worker, a licensed therapist, and I received my bachelor's from the University of Michigan, Flint. I received my bachelor's of social work from there, and then I went on to my master's of social work at U of M Ann Arbor, where I studied interpersonal health, and I also specialized in integrated health. And another specialization was in African Center social work.
Oh, wow.
My whole life I would say I've been really just passionate about mental health. A lot of my mentors were teachers and social work. So what brought me into social work was actually macro social work. At a young age, my dad raised us to be activists. He would always say, like, rather than complaining about it, what are you going to do about it? You know, he loved to reference JFK. He always say, JFK says it's not about what your country is going to do for you. What are you going to do for your country? That's his favorite phrase of what you're going to do about your community. So he definitely molded us and guided us to be just young activists and just really rooted on the change that we want to make in our communities. So like my sisters and my brother, we were really, really active in high school. Like we were all the student council president.
Yeah,
like, this was a big deal for my dad. He has all of our picture. We were all the student council president. We were all just big on.
One sibling after the other.
I had that picture of me. We're all on a wall of our high school, and we were all student council president, and we were big on. And that was a big deal to my dad. Like so what are the changes we're going to make at school, and then went on in our community. That's awesome. For me, I was fortunate enough and blessed enough to know since in high school that I wanted to be a social work. I wanted to be an agent of social change, social justice. I'm going to make noise about my Muslim identity, my African identity, my immigrant experience, being a woman, what is feminism, what is this, and all those things, Islamophobia, and, you know, racism that's going on. So that definitely fueled me, and that's what made me love social work.
Yeah.
And then as I went into my, you know, my studies even more, trying to figure out if I was going to more so study macro social work, the activism, the advocacy work, or micro social work, like the individual, the therapy stuff. Yeah, I leaned more into, even though it's the macro that brought me to the field, I went into the micro because I wanted to see more people that looked like me in the mental health profession. And just, I wanted to be the therapist that I needed when growing up, you know, so that brought me into school social work. I wanted to be the school social work that I wish I had as a kid. So it was really personal for me. It was healing my inner child, doing this work and having representation. Because I think every time we, you know, watch movies and things or whatnot, shows, you know, when we're introduced to therapy, it's like, this is for crazy people, or this is for white people, or this is only for American people. What does that really mean? So definitely I went into that side to literally for us, by us, to have more of us in this field, to break the barriers and the stigma of mental health, to educate my community on what is mental health. Mental health is an issue for everybody. We're not immune to it just because we're Muslim. We're not immune to it just because we're African. So what did that look like in our community? So I really wanted to bridge the intersectionality of culture and things and whatnot. So what I loved specifically about like social work rather than psychology and etc. is that social work looked at everything: psychology, sociology, criminal justice, all that thing, the whole person approach, not just the internal things and all those different type of things, not just the external things, but how all of these are impacting, like the Maslow hierarchy of needs. And that's what really made me firm of like, social work is for me, and things and whatnot. So my bachelor's experience was amazing. It was definitely social justice rooted, and then I went into my master's at U of M Ann Arbor, the #1 school of social work.
Go Blue.
Went there, and that's where I love that I got to specialize in and definitely create the path that I wanted. So I pick up my certification in school social work, pick up my certification in integrated health, and then also I was a New Leaders of African Center social work scholar that basically was trying to highlight Black psychology and the Afrocentric perspective to mental health. And so it was great. I knew that I wanted to be in the schools to be able to have youth to be able to see me. I wanted to be in a health setting to be able to the importance of intersection of physical health and our mental health, how they're as important, you know, just as important, and how they all impact each other. But most of all, it was an honor to be a New Leaders of African Center social work scholar, because it what's that word? It affirmed, it reassured me that it doesn't have to be, the approach to mental health doesn't only have to be this Western lens, this individual lens. So it was so healing to learn all these Afrocentric perspective about like, we do therapy, we do this holistic thing, we do this community thing, we do, so it was basically learning how to use the things that I grew up with, but how to incorporate it. So that definitely strengthened me as a professional, and my confidence of definitely how that I want to use an Afrocentric approach. So I like to call myself the Afrocentric clinical therapist. But I'm really passionate about a lot, using the Afrocentric perspective and also integrated spiritual psychotherapy. My faith is important to me, just as my culture. So that's a little bit about me.
You better clap it up, please.
That's professional.
Amazing.
As personally, I'm a mother, and I'm a wife. I'm a mother to 4 girls, so I am a girl mom.
Come on, girl mom.
And
that's like my house.
Really?
4 girls.
4 girls. Oh, they're amazing. I just see a me in just different pieces of me in
Yeah.
all of them. And yeah, I grew up with amazing parents and siblings, and I am the eldest daughter, but I am the second child. Yeah, that's a
Okay.
bit about me personally.
Definitely. I love that so much. So much insight and so much. I love like seeing your excitement when you were talking about different areas. You said it was the Afro.
The scholar program is New Leaders of African-Centered Social Work. Yeah.
I think that's really interesting, and like you were saying, like it was affirming because it's like this is an area that should be like focused in. It's not just a blanket like this is mental health and these are the different ways to solve it. But a lot of times when the people who are constructing those curriculums is very Eurocentric, very Western centric, and it's just like there are other people going through other things, and that should also be explored.
Yeah, I love what you said. You were talking about the other Eurocentric and Western perspective, and the reason why I was so affirming is because I've always thought those things. While I was receiving my bachelor's in social work, I would vibe with some things. I was like, yeah, like, but how am I gonna, like my teacher, he was also very, Afrocentric perspective too. He'd be like, okay, so how you gonna go break this down at your dinner table? Like how you gonna go, like how you gonna make it sound like you? So we also learned the art of code switching that I love talking to young folks about, and I love to call it an art because it is an art to know how to be able to navigate spaces, but to know how to also be able to talk to your people and use the terminology that's important and use the vibe. And I like to say that I'm really, artistic in that area, but no, it was affirming because all the concepts that I learned or the approaches that I learned about Afrocentric social work or Black psychology, they weren't new. They were affirming because they were basically highlighting and putting a name to it. So the inner, like my inner child was just sitting there like, wow, this does make sense. This part of my culture does make sense. Our community healing does make sense. When we have passing in our communities, and as soon as the first thing the first time we hear an announcement, all our mothers pick up their pots and pans and go to someone's house and heal and pray with them. And the 5 love languages, the act of service that we do in our community. So it has all these names aesthetically, like, words of affirmation, acts of service. And you're like, oh, we do that. We do that. We have places where you go, this is the aunt of the village who, take in the people, or this is the sinner and things like that. And so being able to be studying that, it really affirmed me in the way I wanted to practice this field, because I will always feel doubt, like, is this dumb? Is this only white people think? Are my clients only going to be, people who don't look like me? But I was like, I want to serve people who look like me, but I don't want to be fake, or I don't want to sound like this is the best way, or the highway. But I want it to sound like, how can I use or talk from experiences that we carry and approaches that we carry, and also just be able to create that trust in that space. And I think it's important.
That's huge. Therapy myself, and I feel like it's really important. I think the first few people that I saw, like, it was okay. And it was just like, okay, like how many more times do I have to keep finding someone to try to connect with? And so I've had a few therapists that I really do connect with, and I haven't been to therapy in a bit, but I feel like what was really good about it was like they were able to like shine a light on my experiences, and they were really talking about like, you kind of already know the answer to a lot of the things, but it just hasn't been presented in certain ways. So kind of like uprooting, I guess, like, the root of whatever the issue is, and then them understanding the Black American experience, them understanding the Nigerian immigrant, or I'm a first generation experience, cultural impact. How does that relate to, different situations, how I navigate in the world? And I was really impressed with that, because I grew up thinking like, therapy is just for if there's a problem and you really needed, something for it. Whereas with me, there was a friend, Kyra, shout out to Kyra. Kyra and Delapo, actually, both of them, just for like, nothing has to happen
Yes.
for you to just kind of seek therapy.
Exactly.
Just have someone to talk to. And I think at the time that I was really looking for someone, like things were kind of going well in my life, but it was still like, I feel like something's off.
Yeah.
And I just didn't really know how to pinpoint it. Like I'm a woman of faith too. Like I pray to God. I'm like, okay, like what am I missing? I think with therapy, it really highlighted, you know, what the issues were. So then I can then go take it and like, okay, this is how I now process these issues.
Yes.
And how certain things are deep rooted and just kind of like are masked and just kind of like well, it'll be fine. But it's like, no, let's get to the root of the issue.
Yeah.
So what has been some of your experiences like trying to introduce therapy to people in your community?
Yeah. I feel like, one, I just want to say everything you said, I want to emphasize that. Because we always think that therapy, there has to be a problem, there has to be a crisis. But like what you said, therapy most of all is about learning about ourselves.
Yeah.
It's a skill building practice. It's not just talking. And talk therapy is not just bad. Like maybe we just need that safe space where I don't really feel safe anywhere to vent. And I just, or maybe I have everybody, but no one is telling me the truth. And I really need that objective lens that don't know all these different parts of me that is going to give me a new perspective. So I really love how you said that, and it made me think about also shout out to my sister Nabintu. We have our initiative, our community initiative called Sisterhood of Yet Alone. Basically means sisterhood of self-knowledge. Our dad, that's something else that he'll always shout, yet alone, yet alone. Yet alone. Basically,
I love how you're honoring your dad and all these different
shout
decisions.
out Fanta Doumbia.
Oh my gosh, shout out to him.
So he will always be, you know, reminding us the importance of us knowing ourselves. That's the biggest goal. Who do you know who you are? Do you know who you are as a Muslim? Do you know who you are as an African? Do you know who you are? What are you going to do? So we created this initiative to be able to explore our intersectionalities as young Muslim African American women with immigrant experiences, to be able to explore our intersectionality with our spirituality, with our mental health and our emotional well-being, all those different type of things, and to have a space of that we belong, a sense of belonging. But to break all the, you know, identity crisis that a lot of us face and things like that. But most of it was rooted in knowing ourselves. You know, what does it mean to be, for me to be like all these intersectionality that we carry? You know, what does it mean for me to be a Black Muslim, a Black Muslim woman? Like all that triple jeopardy. What does it mean for me to be in have immigrant experiences, but not only, but specifically West African immigrant experiences? What does it mean? So it's all these different intersectionalities, but so it's a space to cultivate us being certain that we know who we are, you know, healing parts of us and things around us, and just it was just healing. It's a sisterhood where we heal and basically getting to know ourselves. And so when I was hearing you talk about that, I just heard a lot about therapy. Maybe that should be my slogan for Africans, is therapy is to go get to know yourself on a deeper level, in a safe space. Get to know yourself with someone that doesn't know you. Get to know yourself with someone that's not just going to be a yes man, that's going to be, what I love to tell my clients, as you ask me, what do I, you know, tell them when they're trying to understand experiences. I like to tell my client, this is going to be a journey of healing. Is not a race. Is you know, it's not a marathon. You know, sometimes we're gonna have days where we can be able to walk to that door, where we're gonna be able to jog, where we're gonna be able to run. Sometimes we have those days where we're limping, where we're crawling, and that's okay. It's about that we're just getting there and we're showing up for ourselves. But most of all, I explain to them, I'm on this journey with you. I'm not in front of you. I'm not behind you. I'm beside you. I'm holding your hand. You're giving me permission in doors that you want me to walk through and provide, you know, an outside lens. And I like to tell my clients that, and I think it always eases this anxiety. Like, I don't want to be this expert that's just telling you, this is what you need to do, Eberici, 1, 2, 3, and you're going to be better. I don't want to be behind you like, like, okay, you know, but no, I want to be beside you. I want to be able to give you that safe space space and things and whatnot. So I like to
love
tell my
that.
people, like, therapy is not just for, yes, go to therapy if you also think something is wrong. That's courageous to be able to feel like something is wrong, something is a bit off, I need to go. But therapy, I think, is something to have, just as our doctor checkups. We go annually. Our dentist, we go every 6 months, and we go do all our exams and things like that. Therapy should be your monthly maintenance. If you need it weekly, if you need it bi-weekly, if you need it monthly or as needed, it should be our maintenance to be able to keep us rooted and keep us clear and grounded. I need a space where I'm always assessing what are my goals, what did I accomplish, and what am I trying to figure out at age 30, or what do I want 2026 to look like for me. And it's really nice when it's an objective view. So that's, I guess, how I like to explain to my people that it depends. I guess it depends. If it's someone that's probably struggling with something like, is this, white man gonna understand me, or is this person from the burbs gonna understand me, or is this, so trying to know, like, and I like that you said that you kept trying, because sometimes we think that therapist has to be this one size, this fit all. No, you keep on trying, just as when you find the right shoes. You keep on trying. As a therapist, need to find, and I was even, I guess, more picky because I'm a therapist. I'm like, I don't know, you know? So I, as a therapist, even had to think, so it's important to keep trying. If you're lucky, you're gonna find the one that you click with right away. But if not, and that's what it should be like. Just lately, I've been prioritizing what I want my doctor to look like. I want a black doctor. I want a woman doctor. I want, if I can't get a black doctor, then give me a Muslim doctor, a woman doctor, so I can. It builds some sense of trust.
Absolutely.
That when we share pieces of identity, I think I can trust you. With all the disparity that we read and black experiences in healthcare and things and whatnot. So, I would say if you've tried and you like it didn't work out for me, you keep on trying, and it's okay to keep on going till you find someone to click. I know it gets scary, like, I'm retelling my story again, I'm re-explaining it and things and whatnot, but that's a part of the process.
It's part of the process.
And it's rewarding when you find that person.
Yeah, because I think what you were saying about, like, finding that person that once they understand certain things, like, there are things that could be overlooked by other people who don't necessarily know the context of maybe cultural things. So some people, if they find that in someone that hasn't had that experience, great. But sometimes it's good to have someone that knows, like, okay, when I say I was going for a weight keeping, and now, there's a, we're having a party, but it's also like we're still grieving. Like, how do we, like, reconcile that? And some people, will have to prod a little bit more to get certain things to be unlocked, but other people that they know, like, the question or the line of questioning, I guess, that helps, bring certain things. I think one thing that I always laugh, like, it was, like, two of my, like, I guess, favorite therapists, they'll just, like, ask a question and kind of just leave it dangling. And it's like, ooh, let me sit on that a bit, because it's like I didn't really ever consider certain things.
Something that you said that was powerful, Barichi, that again affirmed me in my study is the importance of cultural competency in care. So when we say be trauma informed, that is important, but also be culturally informed. And that is why, my young African professionals who want to go into this field know, like, that is not, it's not a weakness, it's a strength. It's a strength, like being able to use different phrases that we know what it means to us. Like, I love that, so my therapist, she's Muslim, she's African. I love it, some concepts that I don't have to explain, like, too much, too deep. And I feel seen, like, I just feel seen. I just feel like, so knowing that is a strength that we have. Like, a lot of jobs, you see someone who has cultural humility, cultural sensitivity, cultural competency, like it's something new. So us who, when we carry so many identities, so many intersectionality, it's definitely a skill set that we have in what we do, in law, in medicine, and all that. It allows us to be able to practice from a culturally informed lens.
Something else you were mentioning was the fact that you use the arts involved in some therapy practices. Can you tell me a little bit about what that's about?
For me, again, I like to call code switching an art because it's important to me. It's important to make sure I'm being aware of how I'm sounding, the language that I'm, using. If I'm working, with a client that, may speak Madinka like me, throwing a bit phrases in there to make you feel like home. But other arts that I like to say is like music therapy. I really like to vibe with my clients of like when you said when your therapist, when they would throw that question, I'm like, yo, let's use, especially when I'm working with my young clients or when I'm working with my brothers who can't really explain their emotions. I'm like, let's play a song today. Play a song that you really like to listen to when you're driving. And then we go through those lyrics and be able to break down those things. I like to call it music therapy. We go through those lyrics and they explain like, yeah, man, this be making me think about my dad. This be making da-da-da. It gets me in my emotion. And then it opens. It's the icebreaker of our social session. Or we open. Or if I'm specifically working with a Muslim client and we're trying to connect the ayahs in the Quran, for me, like a surah that is a chapter that is really close to my heart is Surah Al-Duha, which is, I believe it's called Surah of Dawn. It's basically about our prophet where he was dealing with a lot, the year of sorrow. He lost his uncle, he lost his wife. It was hard for him to carry the message. It was literally the years of depression. So for me to see, someone that's supposed to be a messenger of God, being humanized, so I'm able to explore that with my clients because again, whatever you need, if it's faith that you want to utilize, if it's music, if it's art. With my younger clients as a school social work, I would try to have us draw out some things. Like you don't want to talk, and that's okay. I would sometimes tell my young clients who felt like forced to do this, we don't have to talk. We can listen to music and color and draw. Abarichi, it would bring up so much.
Oh, wow.
So much beautiful paintings. I had a client that was just so resistant. I didn't feel like she needed these things, but it's something that gets her in her element when she's drawing and she's able to express, these drawings and how they make her feel. So you have to be creative as a therapist. We have these toolbox, but we explore these toolbox with our clients to tell them how you can use it in your everyday life. Like, all right, what does it look like when I'm driving? Even before me starting here, I was using my breathing exercises to like, okay, I'm going to use I'm going to ease my anxiety, and things or whatnot. What are music that calm me? Or what are different passages from the Quran or from the Bible that calms me? All those different. So we're setting that's why I say I like to call it a skill building space. Like we're having our little toolbox for the moments that I feel overwhelmed. What are the coping strategies that I can utilize that bring me back, that makes me steady, that makes me calm.
Oh my gosh, I love that. So you work with a range of people then. What's the range that you work with? And I guess what are some of the differences for different clients that you've worked with?
So I said again, what brought me into this field was more macro. So activism, advocacy work, policy, and things of whatnot. So that's what I do, like on a macro level, trying to stay up to date about reforms that are happening, policies that are changing things or whatnot. And then as a school social worker in the setting, working individual with kids, but also in group settings. I also was like, in the beginning in my field, I was a special education social worker. And that was keen to me, special to me, because a lot of time growing up in our community, we don't want to hear that our children have autism. What is ADHD? What is OCD?
For sure.
So being able to, again, it's amazing serving everybody, but when I'm able to serve and I'm calling a parent and I hear that accent, it's something that it does to me. Like I feel like, again, I'm healing my inner child. I'm being able to serve, me, my people, my community, helping a parent feel safe that like, I think my child has autism, what I do, and letting you know that it's not all a lost cause, but what are the skills or the protection or accommodations that we can make sure he have in his school. And they're like, what, really? I'm like, actually, if you don't get him help, that sets him for failure. But when you get him help, what is an IEP? What does an IEP look like in college and things or whatnot? So being to be a social worker is a superpower. It's one of my greatest superpower, because as a special education social work, like being able to serve my people and them, you know, knowing like it's okay that my child need extra accommodations. It doesn't make them less than, it doesn't make them weaker, but educating them about different learning styles and whatnot.
I love it.
Also have experience as a general social worker, just running wellness group, depression groups, anxiety, teaching kids about, you know, like, I think that's important. We have to remember when we had a lot of test taking anxiety, we still have that too, but letting our kids have healthy coping skills and how to combat that. Also have experience in a CMH setting, so community mental health. I'm actually doing some of that work right now too. So that's being able to serve the broader, you know, population with more so, you know, moderate to severe needs and things of whatnot. So being able to, you know, serve our population that may have, like, that have Medicaid. Like for me, I like that because, again, I'm serving my community. My community, majority of us have Medicaid. So again, to be able to know that this access to mental health care is not a luxury. I should not be able to get access to mental health care because I don't have private insurance. I just have Medicaid. And that's what I love about CMH, Community Mental Health, because it focuses on those who have Medicaid and focuses on, you know, a widespread of thing. And then I have experience in integrated health settings, working with, you know, older people. That's rewarding too. It's something about working with the geriatric population where you can make them feel, help them feel that their life, like that end of life care, help them reminisce about their life, help them reminisce about whatever guilt or that they're dealing with, whatever things that they're holding on with, but to be proud of the life that they live and to make amends where they need to. It's like a power, being able to see, like, through their eyes, the life that they live. I just love working with the geriatric population. And also clinical therapy, where I'm a therapist. For me specifically, I went into that role to go into private practice so I can, again, be the therapist that my people need, to be able to see. Like when you open up my psychology today, it's not, this is, I do CBT, I study. No, it's, I know the feeling when you're looking for all these intersectionality that you carry. I know that as a therapist who's looking for a therapist. So I'm making more, I'm very a person that I make a lot of things more, like I'm personal. I'm vulnerable. I share a lot. So I overshare, you know, things like that. So, you know, as a clinical therapist, I'm serving clients that are seeking that are seeking a space where they want to be seen, they want to belong, and, you know, see where their therapists carry parts of, you know, identities that they carry. It's important, you know, we don't need to act like that's not important. It's very important. So all these, you know, right now what I'm doing, you know, that's a spoiler alert. If you guys want to check out my LinkedIn. I've been, you know, really, because I think it's this anti-AI movement. You either love it or you hate it. A lot of it, I get it. A lot of the therapists aren't comfortable with it because people think like I can use AI to replace my therapist and all that thing. Because I ain't gonna lie, ChatGPT, she was helping me ease my anxiety on my way here because my therapist wasn't available when I was driving here. It's after hours. She would say some things, but I trained her to say some things. So I've been really looking more into the intersectionality of mental health and AI. You know, so I'm, you know, how to be a strategist of how it's going to be a big thing. So how can we make AI a safe place? You know, how can, you know, we as mental health professionals need to be a part of that conversation at the table. You know, because it can say some harmful things. How can we make sure we protect our children using this? How can we make sure we protect people using this? How can we be at the table training this tool? It is a tool. It's not harmful. It is a tool that is, I'm not gonna lie, making our work easier as social workers and therapists, helping us write our notes in a speedy way and things and whatnot. But I've been delving more into social work and mental health professionals in tech. It's blown my mind, y'all. Look it up on YouTube. It's a whole world, social work and tech.
And that's so interesting that you're embracing technology and AI, because I've heard people say, like, in joking, like they'll post like, oh yeah, you know, AI or ChatGPT is my therapist, or people will respond to their posts like, ChatGPT is not your therapist, you got to be careful, this, that, the other. And I do see both sides of it, because it's like right now it is kind of the wild, wild west. But like you said, like if you're at the forefront of that, and this, a lot of mental health people in tech, is there a community like growing?
Yes,
Are
yes.
there like groups that people can find,
Yes,
or
it is.
how
It's
does
some
that look?
groups on my LinkedIn that I'm following.
Okay.
Want to give I don't know if they'll see this, but I want to give a shout out to Taylor and Faith, the Social Work to Wealth podcast.
Okay. Ooh.
They've been doing a lot of
Very
work,
cool.
highlighting different types of social work, and they've had a couple episodes of social work and tech. I've been keeping up with just a lot of TikTok University social workers in tech. And again, it was something one of on an episode on the Social Work to Wealth podcast that was said. He said like I don't want to misphrase it, but he said basically trust and safety. Trust and safety positions or specialists are the social workers of the internet. Because
Okay.
think about it, we're making sure well-being, we're going and making sure there's no harm. And I think it's important. Like we need to train AI to be able to flag something. If people are utilizing this thing as their safe place and a therapist, it was actually a report where a young kid in high school, he unfortunately did take his life, and he was telling AI about it. That was his final moments.
Okay.
And I don't know, she said AI said something pretty vague, but again, that human interaction piece and things and whatnot. So a lot of more studies, a lot of more education needs to go on to young kids who are exploring this or just having someone to talk to. Again, the balance. Like as a school social worker who have heavy experience working in virtual settings, that's why I'm dabbling in this, and I'm pivoting into this, is I can see me educating again children in school, just safety measures again, but also not replacing your socialization. Like it's okay if you just trying to put all your chaotic ideas and summarize it and have clarity. That's helpful. Or to have your own virtual assistant for free in some extent. That's helpful. But also important safety measures, and also how can we use AI as a tool to help make our work as therapists and social workers and mental health professional in all fields more proficient. How can we use it as a tool to make it proficient? It should not replace it, but how can it make us effective, proficient, and be able to serve more people? And so I'm really definitely trying to pivot more into that, and also add a lot of perspective. I actually want to give another shout out to my brother-in-law, Bakary Diarrassouba. So he works for Google. He's an AI strategist and things and whatnot. Oh my God, I'm going to share that with you. He wrote an amazing article about just AI. Can't remember the title, but it was just about what we're talking about, us like our experiences being at the table. So what does it look like for him for being an an African engineer, at the table, helping this AI movement or etc. So it is such a well-written, really heartfelt article about when AI is being trained in Western ways and is viewing Africa in X, Y, and Z. Like I think he had searched like an idea, like what should I do for my niece's birthday? I'm in Cote d'Ivoire, the Ivory Coast, and it said something like jungle theme or something like that. So it was really it was the importance of the way I'm saying that we as mental health professionals should be at the table, but him also talking about us who are in all these different fields and the intersectionality that we carry. Why it's important for us to be at the table to shape it. What does AI look like on the continent of Africa? How is it properly inclusive and representative of our experience? So when we give some correct facts and things like that, I'm going to share that with you. It was really, really great.
Please do.
Article.
Yeah, I'm going to link that in the bio so you can take a look at the article. And that sounds really cool because conversations are everywhere. Like AI isn't going anywhere. It's literally just been a boom. I remember when I first heard about it, it was in a class, like an entrepreneurship class in 2023. And from then it was like, okay, this article about this, and okay, how to use it for this, and just seeing how it's evolved to like, people have like it's like a personal assistant to a lot of people. And how do you use it responsibly? How do you make sure that, it's a anything that isn't, when it comes to employment, it's not gonna, it will replace some positions, but also when people can figure out like how to actually use it for, as an assistant more so.
Exactly, rather than a replacement.
Rather than a replacement.
Because,
so
it's nothing like that human experience and that human thing.
That cannot be replaced.
I love how you keep saying assistants, because I love to tell my mom therapy clients, I'm like, okay, you're going to use ChatGPT as your virtual assistant.
Okay.
Go and make your to-do list. They'll be like, oh, AI this. I'm like, no, don't let, I know, you know, it's a lot of controversy, but I said, and it's been helping a lot of my mom clients, like, all right, you know, chat, remind me to do, you know, making a schedule. I know you can talk to Siri and you can talk to Google and Bixby and Alexa and say, remind me to do this and this and research this, but just telling ChatGPT to help you make, like, I am feeling overwhelmed as a mom, and I'm trying to be, you know, carry a great work-life balance. I've worked this day and I have to remember the kids' day. Like one time, my AI, I like to call her my bestie, she made me a whole schedule. She was like, Fanta, you got this, breathe. She said, first, she even added some Muslim phrases. First you're gonna say Bismillah and pray.
Yeah.
And then you're gonna do Fajr at this time and you're gonna take care of the kids. And it was like, okay, I screenshot it and I had my own to-do list rather than me go write it out and things like that. So yeah, definitely, again, us being in these spaces and knowing how to utilize this with our expertise and our intersectionality.
2026. What do you see for yourself? Like, what do you see for your practice? Can you give me some insight on that?
You know, I officially turned 30 in 2025.
Okay.
And that was a big deal to me.
So you must be in the 30s
in the
now.
30s. Yeah,
Welcome. It's a good spot.
And beyond, God willing. Just really trying to be out of my head and tame this imposter syndrome. And that is something that I think we deal with when we have so many intersectionalities, you know. Am I good enough? Do I really need to be at this table? You know, am I making sense? You know, when you're at a room where you're the minority, where, you know, is more, you know, other people at the table, but reminding myself, like, I am where I'm supposed to be. I am meant to be here, and I have to believe in myself. So for me in 2026, where I see myself is thriving in my 30s, where I'm leaving this imposter syndrome behind. And what a better way sitting here, you know, at this table, having this conversation as an expert. Like, I think sometimes I dim my light or just like, expert. No, I am an expert in this field, and it is something that I am passionate about. So for me, 2026 is with prayer. I'm definitely, again, trying to pivot into the social work and tech world, and seeing where I can make more, I don't want to say noise, but our voice as a, you know, mental health professional who carry the intersectionalities of being, you know, who have West African immigrant experiences, Muslim experiences, and things what I think is unique. You know, actually growing up, remember when we write these scholarships, give me money because I am marginalized. And that. Like I remember I had a friend, shout out to my girl, Jada, we went to grad school and she used to be like, I am not a minority. Nothing is minor about my blackness. Nothing is minor. Like, what are you talking about minor? I am I'm a, you know, majority. And then
for like literally though.
And that's what I'm thinking about. Going into these spaces, I carry this and this and this identity, and this is why I am an asset to your company. Because I bring the lens of, and that's how I've been writing my cover letter. I bring the lens of the, you know, what is it like being a Muslim in this country? What is it like facing Islamophobia? I bring that cultural competency plus live experiences, not only just the textbook. And that's why it's so important about not just being a researcher, but also the live experiences. When you put that together as a professional, it humanizes when you practice with your clients. When you just only studied and got your PhD or your doctors of social work, and you have no hands-on experience, and you're just talking to your clients about the books and not also like the hands-on and the human the lived experience, you know, it makes things weird. So that's number one. Using my intersectionality as in to highlight of why I will be an asset in this area. And number 2 would be I want to start more groups. I want to start more women groups, youth groups, group session. And so I'm already 2024. I started my individual sessions. So that's been thriving in 2025, and in 2026 I want to lead 10-week session, 10-week group in X, Y, and Z where we explore identities, and
awesome.
but I want to sit down and I want to reflect and I want to do a need assessment in my community. What is it like? What groups are we really looking for? When we talk about depression, how do you guys want to be informed or educated in depression? How can I do some exposure therapy where we go out and take off our shoes, get grounded in the grass and things or whatnot? So I want to do more groups. And then number 3, most of all, I want to, be present and have a balance as a wife, as a mother, number 1, as a servant of the Most High. Like, I really want to have a balance. Like, what does it mean to be, a person of faith? My time with God. What does it mean to keep my marriage healthy and fruitful? What does it mean to be present with my kids? Because when we have all these goals and things, we miss the kids growing up. So I really just want to be, present with my children, enjoy my family, and most of all, travel a lot to the motherland, because my parents, will both be there. And I want to not go every 4 years. I need to go at least a minimum every 2. But if I could have the luxury of going every year, once a year, but I'll start off with the 2. So again, this is such a great topic to go into 2026. So these are my goals on what is it going to look like on a spiritual level, a personal level, a wife, a mom, a daughter, an X, Y, and Z, and a professional level. I just want to be, and that's what I try to explore with my therapist, and that is my I would say expertise, like this whole person, this holistic approach. And I like to sit and make a circle with my clients. Where are my goals? Spiritually, if that's what they want, but personally, career-wise, and X, Y, and Z. So for me, I would say be more aligned. Aligned.
I love that. I really do. Just recognizing the different categories that you want to, help with that.
I think be balanced, because when one is,
and I think being able to identify that is huge, because it's like, okay, if you're not really thinking about it, then you can't really address whatever that need is.
Perfect therapy phrase. If you are not thinking about how you're going to address it, I always tell my clients, when they be talking, I'm like, great self-awareness. They're like, what? I say, because if you don't have that awareness, what you going to do about it? So I love when I'm sitting back and listening to my clients and they just having great, not everybody got self-awareness and emotional intelligence. So exactly,
I love that. Tell me a little bit about Côte d'Ivoire.
Côte d'Ivoire is just a unique experience. And as one who really struggled with identity crisis, right? As I got older, that's when I became proud in high school to be, I was fortunate that our dad moved us to a small Islamic school, Al-Ikhlas Training Academy, where the diversity, so it cultivates this reassurance and this proudness to get to know my African identity more and to be comfortable with my Muslim faith. So as I got older, I had the opportunity actually in undergrad to go study abroad with one of my mentors, Dr. Moyo, in South Africa. And basically that was broadening our lens, seeing myself as a global social worker, again, an Afrocentric perspective, not just, studying beyond the books. What does it look like when you're in actually hands-on and things and whatnot. And I am so grateful that the Almighty blessed that to be my experience going into Africa, because she challenged me in ways and helped me put my American experiences or things, or this I'm a helper type of experience and all those different type of things, like my experiences here are valid, it matters, and and what does it also look like, being back home. So that I think I did 3 weeks there, but I was there as a student and professional, but it helped me so much mentally and heal my identity crisis. Then I went on for the first time at age 21, to go to Cote d'Ivoire, you know, my motherland, where my parents, you know, were born and raised, and just being able to smell the air. And I remember coming back so sad to my parents, like, dang, like I really had to leave that and to stay here. I felt so lonely. Like America, we all have all this individual stuff, the me. And back home, it's all the we.
Yeah.
And that's where we were studying in South Africa, Ubuntu.
Okay.
I am because we are. So I'm so blessed that the Almighty fostered that. So I went to South Africa studying Ubuntu. And, you know, what does Ubuntu look like from a social work perspective? How do we, you know, and that's what made me go into grad school to be a New Leaders Africa Institute social work scholar. I've talked about my experiences studying Ubuntu. So I've been thinking about like renaming my practice like Ubuntu Healing, just trying to figure out a lot. But you know, my dad, I love Yedalon too. So. But so I was grateful for that, and then I went to Cote d'Ivoire, and I came to my parents. And I'm like, you know, like we always think on TV, oh, we have this blue passport or all the luxuries that we have in America, you know, but like they left like just that family piece, that we piece, that unity piece, that it literally is a village. It's a village raising your children. You're doing this in togetherness. I came in my apartment with just my husband and my daughter, and I was like, I feel so lonely, you know, even though I was used to this for the 21 years of my life and things and whatnot. And because of that's a whole different podcast, my immigrant experiences and things or whatnot, my parents' immigrant experiences, I didn't really have the luxury of being to experience that at a young age. You know, I had to, you know, go as an adult. So and then I finally got to go again in 2022 as a mother. I went with my 2 girls. Right now I have 4, but at the time it was my 2 girls. And I'm telling you, like Cote d'Ivoire is just a vibe. So I'm actually from Abobo. That's where my parents had. That's what I said. That's one of the hoods. You know? And I'm from a deeper hood. Right? Am I saying it right? I don't know. So I would tell people in Cote d'Ivoire again that it's intersectionality. I'm like, y'all think I'm not hood enough? I'm from Detroit. I'm from 7 Mile. I'm from the West Side. That's the the Abobo of Detroit.
Let them know.
So I would let them know, like, you know, I'm from Detroit. Detroit, you know, you ain't something small and stuff. You know, so and when I'm here in Detroit, I tell people like, bro, I'm from the hood back home too. Like we from Abobo, and stuff like that. So for me, I would say Cote d'Ivoire is an experience. It's a vibe. It's beauty, you know, surrounded by water, surrounded by culture, surrounded by different religions. It's just, it's all I can say is a vibe. Right now, when I say I'm really into code switching, I've been really falling in love with the art of nushi. It's like a Cote d'Ivoire slang, you know, where you mix like, you know, French with, since I'm, you know, Jula, we mix like Jula with it. Or you mix like, you may mix like, you know, different Cote d'Ivoire languages is in it. And then, or mix some English in it. And so lately, you know, I've been like, it's been healing for me because a lot of times I've been like, it's more like, oh, am I appropriating culture? Am I this? I'm like, no, this is my culture. Like for me, connecting to Nushi is because I'm connecting with parts of me that, you know, I wish that I had, that I wish I got to grow up back home and be able to also grow up here and navigate those experiences. So what's been making me connect, probably my dad is going to laugh. He's like, you could have said any other thing. And then you talk about Nushi, but him, girl, when he gets with his Nushi, he know how to make it flow. So like, it's like a slang, girl. It's an art. I'm going to let you listen to it. You know, I don't want to embarrass myself, but it's like, you know, through the zoo, you know, c'est molo, on est là, c'est vibe. You know, Tia Kilsa, that means like your outfit, like you killed it. You know, I'll try it. Don't laugh at me, y'all. But you know,
it's kind of similar to I think pigeon.
Yes, exactly. I was about to say that next, and it's just like, you know, like the way they just flowing and stuff like that. It's a thing back home. It has this charisma. So Cote d'Ivoire has this charisma and this healing, and our president is doing big things. Like you know, he's been, you know, making it just seem really, really touristic, and you got people on TikTok like, you know, I'm not in Los Angeles. I'm in Abidjan. Tu vois ça?
Period.
Ça c'est Abidjan. Cool, that's beautiful and all that
Yeah.
different type of stuff. But still,
Ooh, can you teach me?
yeah.
Like, how do you say, like, what's up? Like, is there, like,
yeah,
a...
on dit quoi?
On dit quoi?
On dit quoi?
On dit? Or
On
ti-
dit, like on
On
dit
dit
quoi?
quoi?
Again, take it with a grain of salt.
Okay.
People, don't come for me in the comments. But listen, what's up
On
is
dit quoi?
on dit quoi?
Okay.
And I'll be like, on dit rien. On est là. C'est mollo mollo.
I love it.
It's a vibe,
It
you know.
is,
You know,
it
tell me like how it go in pigeon for y'all. Like how do
So, yeah, but it's like, how you day? How you day? How you new day? It's like, how are you today? Type thing.
Yeah, it come out really good.
Okay.
I think you did better than me.
You think?
It come out really good.
Listen, I feel like you do better than me. 'Cause it's like, pigeon, I
Yeah.
can hear a lot of it, but it's just like, especially when people are in the flow of it, it's like, I'm not even about to enter this conversation.
And you see why that is so healing for me, and why again having a clinician or a therapist who can navigate that. But that's why I'm calling the art of code switching. I was talking to one of my bon petit, that mean my my homie, and stuff like that. So shout out to him. He know who he is. And I was telling him like because he he born and raised back in Cote d'Ivoire. He's studying here and things and whatnot, doing big things and engineer. And I was just telling him like. Even with my brother-in-law too, when I just look at him and be able to navigate spaces, like he do big things, like he's out there, like he be presenting like things for Google in Cote d'Ivoire and things and whatnot.
That's amazing.
So I tell them the blessings that they have is like like our young folks in Cote d'Ivoire or can be able to see a them in this field. Like I can see me being an engineer. I can see me like what I love that my brother-in-law said, like the article I'm gonna leak up, like I'm just a youngin from Abobo, you know what I'm trying to say?
Yeah.
I'm just a youngin from Abobo, and being able to see. So when you come, again, code switch is important. Yes, I'm gonna speak in these spaces where I'm trying to have representation for us and things whatnot. I'm going to speak this way at Google.
Yeah.
But when I'm in my hood or when I'm in my setting, my community, being able to navigate, that's the one because they're gonna be able to see a them in you.
Yeah, yeah.
And that's what I'm trying to say. It's no shame. Like back in the day, probably my uncles and them might say like, out of everything you say, you better speak proper now.
Yeah.
But the reason I'm saying that is because it's a beautiful thing that when I'm able to just be me and my community and in my hood and stuff like that, and just speak the way I speak, and you're able to know that it's not far-fetched. Like, wow, I see a me in you. Like, I can be that, you know? I can be that therapist and and I speak like this and I'm from this community. I can be that person working at Google and, I look just like you.
Yeah.
And I really do admire a lot about my brother-in-law, but I like that.
Yeah.
When I see him, I see me.
Yeah.
Like, yeah, so I liked how we definitely went into talking about that, because I think like a lot of times we shame about that. Like talk better. You shouldn't talk like that. Yes, you should know how to talk in spaces and all those. Public speaking is definitely important. But when you are in your community, knowing how to loosen and use
Like
phrases that we understand,
Yeah.
make us understand, and if it
I
makes
love-
sense.
I love the
Yeah.
part that you're talking about with language, because so many times a lot of people like in my generation, like we didn't learn Igbo growing up. A lot of people did, but there's still like a lot of people, even those that were born in Nigeria, didn't necessarily know Igbo, because it was like, oh, well, you have to make sure that you're fully educated in like, the English way of doing things or the American way of doing things. And like you're losing a part of your identity when you're doing that. And it's like, I think it was good intention, but it's like there are some effects that come from that. And so it is, even when you're talking about it and trying to relate to other people, your people, there's maybe a rift there because I don't understand and I can't get everything. So it can get there. It can take a lot more effort, but it's just like, no, like language is a part of, being a part of a community, so you can get the insights and get some things you just can't really explain in English to really get like the full meaning. It's like there's like a poetic way of like talking about certain things that it's like the essence of what you're trying to say is essentially the same, but it's like how it kind of is presented out. It's a bit different, so it gives a different context. So I think honing that language piece is really going to be important. And we're talking about like for 2026, like I think that is that's one of the things I really want to like get more serious about. Because I've been,
Yeah.
I'm like, oh yeah, I'm gonna learn Igbo, cool. But it's like, no, like this year I really want to like.
Yeah.
I've taken a class. I want to retake a class. I want to like
Yeah.
speak more with my parents,
Yeah.
even though I know my mom's gonna laugh at me.
Yeah.
But
African moms, that's the way they affirm us.
That's the way they're just like
they give us that.
and it's just like, can you just well, this is your fault. You didn't teach me. So.
Yeah, and we can't see it. Yeah, we just gotta think it.
Yeah, and so she's like, I'm gonna push through that this year. That's one of the
that's
things
dope.
that I really want to like.
That's really
because
dope.
it's a part of me in creating like the neural pathways and what they're talking about. In fact, I've been hearing that more like like that creates like a different part of you and really brings that out. So
and
those
it's
are some
healing.
things.
And it, again, you're connecting to back home. You're connecting to culture, and it definitely also helps. Especially for me, I think I've been taking serious about just getting more in tune with my language and trying to speak well, because I've been so nervous of how I'm going to pass down this to my children.
Yeah.
And that's one of the reasons I also do want to, go back home as often. Yeah, they're getting better, especially my 10-year-old.
Okay.
But where she's so well, we can talk about the other kids to each other.
That's so funny.
Yeah. But she's so well, and her dad and I be like, okay, let's talk about her in French.
Okay.
But she's going to pick that up too.
Right.
She's going to pick that up too,
Come on, trilingual household. I love that.
Yeah, but I also want to take a moment to, because I know we talked a lot about that at Bisa, the intersectionality. So I want to give Bisa a shout out, Sadie and your team for making this happen. Like I'm just thinking about like a lot of the good conversations that we talked about in all the different our professions and the importance of just intersectionality and things and whatnot. And that's what I really loved about the conference. Like Bisa is just a conference that, it was us. It was for us, by us. And I love how you and Khadijah in her episode shout out, what was it, panel 3?
Panel 3. We were really, it was a great one. Wow. Everyone on there was really great. Oh my gosh.
It was really great conversation. But just speaking of intersectionality, just wanted to highlight Abisa. I think like that's what I loved about the conference. It brought, we weren't, again, outsiders. It was like it brought, like it was literally a space for us, by us, and to be able to highlight experiences and our voices and tell us to continue to use our voices. And I really, really enjoyed the conference.
Me too. And I really, another thing that Khadijah and I were talking about was the fact that we didn't really get questions ahead of time, so we didn't really know like what to expect, what to prepare for. And I was nervous because I'm like, I don't know, like I don't want to say the wrong thing, but like I think from the very beginning, like there was a tone that was set, like we are among family, we are among people that we can talk, people from different industries. Like I was so impressed by the people doing different things, and then once they spoke, it's like it just brought a new like level of life to it, because it's like you're speaking how you speak, like this isn't, you're not trying to like impress anyone, no one's trying to like one up someone else. It was just like this is just natural conversations using different experiences that we've had to bring up to the forefront. So I loved our panel, panel 3, both on the panel and on the workshop side, just like really talking about every area, from the areas from mental health to politics to food, journalism, the legal field, and just how that all being a student, like all these things just really are important and really shape. Our panel topic was young migrant futures, and how does that look? And it is in all these areas.
And I love how just the conversation in our panel flowed. We picked up on each other, emphasized and things and whatnot. Yeah, Bisa is really doing great work. And,
absolutely.
I pray that it continues to be able to do what it's doing for our community. So it's an important conference for our community, important like to be talking about these topics. And I think I like that it focused on like young migrant experiences, like when you're coming in this day and age, what does it mean like for me, Would I still be able to go to high school and to college, or can I come here for college? Like it's like, it's with everything that's going on right now, what does it look
Absolutely.
like for me? So
Absolutely.
yeah,
And again, like Abiza is doing such amazing work, policy-wise, advocacy-wise, like literally like in the throes of people, you know, trying to help people get out of detention centers, as well as helping people, you know, get jobs, helping people like find housing and shelter.
Yeah, a couple of my clients.
Yeah.
It's amazing.
It is.
Would be like, someone told me from Ibiza to come to you, like even
love that.
prioritizing migrants' mental health, which is so foreign. So for me, like when I had a couple clients come through from Ibiza, which is so empowering, like all the displacement and all these things that you're facing, all this, you know, racism, or I don't know what's the word when you're
all of it.
You know, being discriminated because you're immigrating,
racially profiled,
all those different type of things, and literally they had to process it. So like, Ibiza is doing an amazing thing by, I think, also having these conferences. I think it lets a lot of people, not only the professionals or experts to come and speak, but those who are sitting there experiencing these lived experiences to remember to ask for help, to remember don't wait for it's too late, and to remember like this organization is to help you thrive through your experience here and make sure you get the protections that you have, not only on a legal matter, but on a community matter and on even a mental health matter. So they're really,
doing amazing things.
Yep.
So I know they're already, I know they're donate, and they are already planning their conference for next year.
Wow,
so I think people should just keep tabs on what they're doing and definitely be in attendance because it was great. So, any last words? Where can people find you? All of that.
So, LinkedIn, Instagram, TikTok. You know what? I'm going to make a 2026 goal as well. That's a part of the getting out of my head. So my 2026 big goal is get out of head. I want to, actually, like, I'm just inspired right here sitting on a podcast, but like make a social media preference. I've been like presence, I've been nervous and things or whatnot, but I've been keeping a lot, with just content out there, of just like people that I enjoy. My sister Nabintu, who's a Detroiter in New York, a lawyer, and I enjoy her TikTok content. My cousin Aja, doing her lifestyle content, and just other friends, my friends who are a doctor. And I'm like, I've been a lot of just like, I love just indulging into mental health content. I just want to see it can never be too much of us in there. And I'm just always in my head, is there something new I have to say and things like that. So, and I really want to thank you for doing this work and also, but it being for you and it's something that you enjoyed, and to know like, Fanta, it's okay. Like this may be a hobby for you, and you may be educating a lot of people. So I really, but
I'm excited. Go for it.
Last thing I do want to say is, thank you. Thank you for this platform. Thank you for this conversation. It was just not a conversation for me. It was very healing and just reassuring. Just every day when you're sitting back as a professional and as an expert, just reminding yourself or reminiscing on why did you go into this work, what led you to go into your work, and most of all, your why. It just keeps the intentionality. So it's letting me go into 2026 again, keeping it intentional and aligned. And this conversation was really just therapeutic for me to be able to reflect on what brought me here, what am I doing, and what I want to do, what more I want to do. Therapeutic to, again, just think about my experiences, being raised in Detroit and being able to experience where my parents grew up and being able to experience Abobo and things and whatnot. Like, it was just really good therapeutic. I'm not just saying that just because I was a mental health professional, but for me, it was just really just healing, and I enjoyed being on this episode, invited to have this great conversation. And I hope it's, that we're all taking care of our mental health in 2026. Remember that you don't have to wait till you have a problem. You don't have to be in crisis. You can go, it's just as important as going to your doctor, your dentist, and all your physical health. Take care of your mental health. Please. Just as important as taking care of your spiritual health. Like, take care of your whole, it's about just the whole person. It help us be better with our relationship with the Almighty. Help us with our relationship with ourselves as spouses, as parents, as siblings, in our professional, like sometimes you need to go process the work setting and things like that. So therapy is for everybody and it's for everything. But if you're also dealing with heavy things and things like that, you can find a safe place, and you can literally go on Psychology Today, filter out those things. You can go on Therapy for Black Girls, you know, things like that. It's something that my sister and I would say, I've been sleeping on it. We wanted to underhood it, and I think I'm gonna take, I would take that serious in 2026. We wanted to make a directory for Sister Olivia alone for African mental health professionals, so people could just click in and kind of like, I think sometimes when you give people a way, a path, and it makes some things easier for them because they're nervous. Barrier. So if they be like, who in my area is African, is a woman, or you get to put in the filter, is African, or is a man, or all those different type of things, and or if you want to specify Muslim or specify Christian, like all these, our intersectionality matters. So we've been thinking of making a directory like that, because we have Psychology Today, we have Therapy for Black Girls, you have Christian therapists, you have Muslim therapists. They have all their directories. So, I can keep on going. I don't want to keep us here all night. So I don't even want to stop the conversation. I gotta get to these kids. So. Okay.
Let me tell you, this has been great. Thank you for saying all that. That's really affirming to me too. Just an idea that I've had that I'm like, let's just see what step 1 looks like, what step 2 looks like. So thank you for being here. I'm excited for all the future comments that are going to come, and definitely please reach out to Fanta if you have any, whether it's specifically for mental health needs or if you just want to get to know her. She's an amazing person. So thank you for watching this latest episode of White Pack. Thank you for being on. And
Thank you for having me.
Absolutely.
Continue to do this great work and continue to have these good conversations. It's important.
Thank you. Like, comment, subscribe, share, all the things. And I will see you on the next episode.
Bye. Guys.